Is Lou hopping on with us?
No, not tonight. He needs a little more. He said he needs a little more time to do his grades because the thing is, I'm pushing him. I'm holding his feet to the fire. I'm not letting him get out of anything that he's saying. And I'm like, whenever you're ready, I'll videotape you with my phone. You can do about a minute on every team. Give me your grades. We'll just go bang, 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 and I'll make an episode. He's like, okay.
He's like, I don't really know what I'm talking about.
Well, we'll see. I do want to hear what his draft grades are. He says he only gives out 1A and 1F. Welcome to another edition of the Always Sunday Football Podcast. I'm Dave. I'm joined as I always am by Jonny. How's it going down there, buddy? How you doing in the storm?
Good. Repping the Jets, man. Dodged the bullet, so just happy that no damage, just straight rain.
Nice. Anthony, how you doing, man?
I'm doing just fine on that unemployment line. You know what I'm talking about?
Hey, nice.
Hey.
So we just had, literally yesterday, our annual league yearly redraft draft. And it was, in my opinion, a lot of fun. A lot of people were interacting with each other, which I thought was great. And a good time was had by all. Jonny, you weren't physically with us, but you were on the line. So I'll let you go first. What was your experience of the draft? Start from like the actual beginning of the draft. So like, where were you? What was your night like? Take us through that. We didn't really get a chance to catch up with you. You just kind of jumped in midway. You got into the car while it was still moving.
Yeah, so I was actually in class. So number one, UCF decided to keep classes open while a hurricane's going to hit Florida. So that's first things first. Second,
Smart.
My professor's a jerk. Actually, fun fact, my professor has a lawsuit against Governor DeSantis right now as we speak.
That's good.
A lot of people, look, fun fact, a lot of people have lawsuits against Governor DeSantis right now. Move along.
Yeah, so he's just one of them. So third, I did my first two picks actually at UCF. So the Derrick Henry, Devontae Adams pick was at UCF, like on my laptop.
Oh, like you were in class still?
Yeah, like I was in class making those picks.
So
like
then you ended up making some picks on the road too?
Yeah, so the second, third, and fourth round.
So wait, hang on a second. You just to make it clear, in the first two picks, you did the first turn at your desk or whatever, at your chair.
Yeah, like at my desk. Yeah.
That's crazy. So did that affect the quality of the pick at all? Do you feel?
No, absolutely not.
Okay,
I
cool.
came in with a game plan. I knew what I was doing.
You executed your plan.
So then I drove home. And that was about the third, fourth, and I believe the fifth round is around the time I got home. Wow. And I jumped on. Actually, when I jumped on, I was picking. So, like, when I actually –
Yes, that's true. I remember that.
Yep.
I was picking. So then I joined, and it was nice to have, like, another guy. So I got a chance to, like, bullshit with Will a little bit. And what was really good about the experience was, like, seeing faces I haven't seen in so long, like – seeing Mike Dahl, like I haven't seen Mike Dahl in ages. So it's just nice.
It was great to see Dahl show up.
Like I love the conversation. I was able to kind of listen to the conversations that were being had with like Danny Mack and Anthony and just seeing the new guys, Jay, and just the guys interacting. I'm going to be honest with you. This is probably the first year where I'm like really excited with this group of people. And I really think it's going to be one of the funnest years we've had in a really long time.
Yeah, there's a fresh energy. I'm glad we brought the four guys in that we did. They brought a great energy with them. And, I feel refreshed as well. Anthony, what were your takeaways? You know what? Actually, no. I'll start you. I'm sorry to cut you off before I start you.
That's fine. I'm used to it.
You hosted the get together. Now we had an opportunity when I mentioned John was on the line. We had an opportunity to get 6 league members together, which was the most that we ever got together for a draft before live. And Anthony hosted. So take us through like getting ready for the event before we even showed up. Start there.
Well, yeah, it was rough. Well, it wasn't rough. I mean, I was supposed to not have the kids, but I had the kids, but it's fine. We still all love it. They helped, kind of make a mess and then clean it up. So I ended up, maneuvering around a little bit, getting it ready, and then I dropped the girls off. And as I'm dropping the girls off, I get a text from Doll because it was originally only supposed to be me, Dave, Danny Mac, and Bobby J for sure. And Jay like said he would. I didn't think he wouldn't come, but I was like, you know what? He's a new guy. Maybe he might not, but he does live in the neighborhood, like walking distance. So this was, but it was
Yeah, he
cool.
was
the
a
fact
better
that-
than 50% chance.
Right. But then you know what? You still like sometimes you still want to, I don't want to be, I just want to do the thing on my own. Plus, he had to be up at 4 a.m, so I appreciate him coming. And then Mike Dahl, like that was just like the biggest, probably like shock of the night. Like I pull out my phone because I'm in like Tokyo drift mode. I'm sitting here like shit. Dave's gonna be at my house in 15 minutes. I'm gonna be at my house at like 13. I know I gotta just do a couple few minute things and then I like to be good. But and then I see that text. I'm like, Mike Dahl. I was like, is he pre-trading right now? What's he doing? Is like, and then I see they say, oh, like, is it still at your place? The draft still at your place? Hell yes, it is. Came through. That was awesome. The setup was great. Having the draft board on the big 75-inch TV was nice with two people who stayed on the chat the whole time, or you were most of the time, but Will came on. It was great. I loved it. I love the fact that Jay was able to come over and it was like he's been in the league for a while. It was just kind of
it seemed like he felt
nice.
comfortable. It seemed like he had a good time. I'm glad for that. He's a cool guy. I was glad to have him there. It just kind of like affirmed that he brought some good energy, that he's a good dude. I'm excited to have him aboard. Yeah, it's what was the most surprising pick? Like what jumps out at you when I ask you that question? Like what's the first thing off the top of your head?
I mean, the first one that pops in my head but is the Niners defense in the 9th round. I think it was the 9th round.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to use that because it's a defense, and like in the way we roll, it's like whoever chooses the defense first, not in the last round. Maybe even give you the second to last if you're choosing the higher ones. We're giving you shit, right? But I thought to me, I mean, everybody thinks it's me with Khalil Herbert, but I don't agree. I think Ridley was a little bit of a reach, nothing crazy, but like almost a full round early. But to me, Aaron Rodgers. I think that Aaron Rodgers was a big reach, and it changed the game flow for Narc because I think Narc's team would be better than it is now if he made that adjustment.
Jonny, what about you? What's the big shock that pops out in your mind?
Yeah, I'm going to go with obviously Lou. After the 7th round, his entire team is just hot garbage. I mean, hot garbage. I mean, let's go down the line. Jalen Hyatt.
Jalen Hyatt. That was going to be my answer.
Hyatt.
What was the answer? It's a good one. I just went because I think I don't remember what round Rodgers went, but I thought it was.
Go ahead,
John. Can I just go down these picks real quick? Yeah. Like, as Anthony mentioned in the 9th round, the 49ers afterwards, Kenneth Gainwell. Dalton Schultz, when you drafted Kyle Pitts, makes no sense. John Michie, okay. Cordell Patterson, why? Donovan Peoples, like Jones.
Jones, I'm not mad at. It's the Cordell Patterson's wild.
Yeah, I just think that like after the 7th round, I mean, it just got real ugly for Lou. Other than that, I thought that he was drafting okay. Like I actually thought he drafted pretty good. And then he just absolutely, I don't know if like the alcohol hit him or, when you sit in the draft and you had a couple drinks and like, the alcohol finally hits you. I think that's exactly what happened to Lou. Like, just completely got trashed and started faking out of emotion.
Yeah, that's when the fucking edible hit him.
Yeah, and he was like, dude, the Niners D is sitting here right now. Nobody's taking it yet.
That's funny. Good call, John. That's a good analysis out of you. I like it. We're gonna get more good analysis. Another shocking thing that I felt that we need to not miss was John taking Derrick Henry in the first round. John took Derrick Henry in the first round. That to me was a surprise. Anthony, were you not surprised by that, or did you know because you had spoken to John?
I'm not. I mean, I was
Derrick
surprised
Henry in the first round is aggressive.
I was surprised by him choosing him there. So I thought he would have for sure chose a receiver situation there first.
I thought you were
And
going
then
CeeDee Lamb, bro.
I thought you were going receiver there, taking the fact that you
Probably
rather
could've got
go
Henry
with
on
the
the way
bunch of RB. You could have got him there anyway. Yeah, it was a little like I don't blame somebody for taking Henry at the 11th. It just shocked me that John
I
did
blame
that.
you, John. It's your fault. You took him. No, I'm just kidding. But like,
Now,
I will say
can I
this. I
explain?
was honestly, now I'm not saying whether it was a good pick or a bad pick. I was very surprised to see you take him there. I didn't expect Derrick Henry in the first round because I had you totally keyed up for CeeDee Lamb. You were saying?
Yeah, I think the Taylor drafting Chubb, and then
Threw you off.
Barkley, I started getting a
Threw you for a
little
loop a little
worried.
bit.
You panicked.
Yeah, it definitely did.
Well,
I was
yeah.
my thought process was I really thought Chubb would be there. I really thought Chubb would be there, and I'm like, oh crap! Like I don't want to be stuck with drafting. This is what the thing I really wanted to avoid. I didn't want to draft Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams at the same time. I was really worried about that.
Would you rather do it at separate times?
Yeah,
So you
I'm not a big believer in that offense. I'm just not. I'm more of like
you
it's
didn't you draft
Devontae.
Devontae Adams?
Let me
I
ask
did
you this
draft
question.
Devontae.
Yeah, you got Devontae in the second round, but why Devontae over CeeDee Lamb? That's my question to you.
So, in my opinion, I think Devontae Adams is the guy. Like he's the number one option on that team. Like I know we talk about Josh Jacobs. He's a good running back. I'm not taking anything away from him, but that team is like literally that team. If they are going to win, it's going to be on the back of Devontae Adams. So I thought to myself, I was like, well, we know Derrick Henry is the focal point of his offense. I thought coming back around and getting a Devontae Adams would be perfect, and for me in terms of that scenario, because afterwards I'm not very sold on like your Tony Pollards of the world, your Ramondre Stevensons. I
we just named both of our running backs is what you're just doing right now.
No, I'm not saying that. Or like I just rather Derrick Henry out of Josh Jacobs, Tony Pollard, and Ramondre Stevenson. That's just my take on it.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I just wanted to kind of hear your thought process there. Like, I'm not here to sit here to fucking roast you.
Because at that part of the rounds, it's purely opinionated, right? Like a lot of it.
Yeah,
like those guys are still posting value.
I think you could have gone CeeDee Lamb and gotten Derrick Henry on the come around, and you would have had Lamb and Henry instead of Henry and Devontae Adams. But you seem to like Adams over Lamb. So
Correct.
That's where you and I differ there. So that answers it for me. That's where it comes down to. Now, I don't know what the thought process was to going all in on the Bears passing offense and the Colts passing offense, two of the lowest volume passing offenses in the league with the most inaccurate quarterbacks available. That was an interesting decision, John. Thoughts?
Yeah, so
you just put him on the spot for his own thing.
So I'm going to put it this way. We talked about this in earlier podcasts where I wasn't comfortable with Justin Fields, and we were talking about I actually liked a lot Amari Cooper and was really big with how Watson would do. My opinion changed about that on seeing the Browns play and seeing Watson play. I just don't think Watson is going to go back to retro Watson. So it made me be like, well, am I going to go with, do I trust Deshaun Watson or do I trust Justin Fields? And in my opinion, Justin Fields' ceiling is higher than Deshaun Watson of what I've seen in the preseason. I know it's a small sample size, but I'm going to go more with a guy that has a higher ceiling, has a bigger area to develop. And then DJ Moore is DJ Moore. He's just amazing versus Amari Cooper starting to get to like a little bit out of his prime, getting close to 30. He'll be turning 30 this year versus, DJ Moore. He could be a really young guy that turns around a franchise.
Whew, the rats are always the first thing off the ship, John. Giving up on your boy Amari Pooper. That's not good.
You gave up on him. No, I think Danny Mac drafted him right before, and I think John would have taken him where he was.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he makes a compelling point for DJ Moore. I think that DJ, and he hit him. He clicked him immediately. Like there was
Immediately, no, he did.
no hesitation whatsoever. So I believe that he was like hovering over DJ Moore, being like, "Please be there, please be there, please be there." Yes, boom. That was a Jeopardy answer type pick right there. Anthony, Khalil Herbert.
Yes.
Explain
Yeah,
yourself.
talk about it.
Talk about it. You took him in a round or two ahead of ADP. Talk about the thought process there. Take us through it.
He was the guy I liked most in that area. Now, if I felt a little more strongly, like I think I went McLaurin before him. So if I would have had RB there, a different story. Maybe Kamara I would have normally grabbed before him, but being out 3 weeks, I can't. I couldn't do right there. I needed that RB2. And Khalil Herbert, he has no competition. He's catched the ball. I mean, he's on the Justin Fields thing, so I think he's going to chew away, but he's going to have a workload, and he's going to finish in the top 25. Chicago back is going to finish in the top 25. Probably top 20, but I'm just going to give him a top 25 as my 6th round pick. I think he was whatever. I don't know exactly, but I'm fine with it. I know I took all the critics and the things on the chin. I'm fine with it. I'm fine.
Now, how do you feel about the little bit of taking it on the chin, leaving you shook, and putting you into the let's gamble, let's get nuts mode, and taking Jonathan Taylor with your next pick?
Well, if you know me,
to me that seems like a reaction.
I'm a gambling man.
No, it's a gambling. That's a gambler's pick. I mean, he was going in that round. He was going in that round.
You think so?
He was. If he made it to Danny Mac, it'd be Danny Mac's. I guess technically it'd be the first pick in the 8th round.
Did Danny
he would have
Mac
been
say
the latest.
confirm
the
that?
latest. He would absolutely. He would have been the 8th pick, first round, 8-1. That would have been the pick. So for me, right there with high upside, I'll take it.
Well, Danny Mac at that time drafted 2 wide receivers.
I just don't think that he misses the whole year. I think I'm taking a risk on a guy missing, maybe even 6 weeks, depending on how he plays his situation.
You just gotta hope he gets traded during the 4 weeks.
And that's the thing, is that somebody willing to trade and have him sitting there, whether he's healthy or not. Sure, but that the goal is for him to be traded to a team where he's any other team, any other team. And then right there, I'm looking at Ramondre Stevenson and Jonathan Taylor, and then my Khalil Herbert's my RB3. So where he was now my RB2, and I'm still fine with him as my RB2 because I went the way my draft went with. I went with my receivers, so I'm fine with it.
John, what do you got for me?
Plus my most recent.
I think Jonathan Taylor's really interesting because he's that high ankle sprain is definitely a tricky one.
Is that what he has?
Yeah, he had a high ankle sprain. He had
last year though.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah, last year he had a high ankle sprain, and then also this year he was a little hobbled with that.
So it's an ankle. It's an ankle thing, but you don't. It's not. I don't think it's high ankle because they would have made that pretty clear. That's a different.
It's extra high ankle, right near where your wallet is. That's where he was injured.
For real.
That's what it is. It was the way up high ankle, like right near your wallet. He was hurt there. That's where he was hurt. Let's not get twisted.
Did you see the news
when he comes back? It is, John. It's his ankle way up high, way up high, like by the back of his pants, by the back of his pocket there where the wallet is. That's where he was injured. So don't you worry. When he's ready to be healthy for a different team, he'll be healthy for that team. Don't you worry, bro. We've seen this story a million times. So, check this out.
I just heard the Green Bay Packers were looking at him.
Yeah, that doesn't really.
That's kind of weird. Yeah, that makes no sense.
I'm not worried about it right now. He's going to sit on ice for a little while. But
I'll let him sit on ice.
Enough talking about us. We're going to discuss this draft that we just saw. Okay? We don't need to go through the draft board pick by pick and talk about this one, talk about that one, talk about the other one. We know we're going to be getting draft grades from Luis. So we don't have to do draft grades. We don't have to worry about that. What we need to do is kind of look forward towards the beginning of the season here and see where everybody stands, where we're starting off from. So what we did was like a power rank of all of the position groups for the teams coming out of the draft. Okay, post draft. Now we have had one trade. So there's already been a receiver swapped for a running back. Anthony, who were the players involved?
Treylon Burks for James Cook.
You got who and gave who?
I gave up Treylon Burks for James Cook.
Fantastic. And who was the other person in the trade?
Be Your Muscles, our sweet boy.
Bobby J. Bobby J.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we decided to do, like I said, was power rank the position groups. Hey guys, did you know that most teams in the league drafted 5 running backs to their roster? Talking about roster construction. Almost every team, right? 9 teams out of 12. 2 teams drafted 6 running backs, and only 1 team. That's not right.
That's not right.
Sorry. It's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams. 8 teams out of 12 drafted 5 running backs. 8.
Yeah.
And then I have 2 with 6 and 2 with 4. So there you go. 2 teams with 4 is me and Will. We'll see where they land on the it's interesting. Will and I both have 4 running backs only. Let's keep that in mind when we look at the running back depth chart power rankings. Receivers. What do you think is the most common number of receivers, fellas?
7.
John?
I'm going to go with 7 as well.
It's 6. You should have guessed a different number. Why would I have asked you? I would have just told him he was right. Jesus, John. He answered the wrong answer, and then I asked you what the answer was, and you gave the same wrong answer. I thought you were a school teacher. Anthony, are you frozen? Yep, he's frozen. Yeah, he is. Are you there? Oh, no. It's 6. The most common, most teams, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 teams. 6 teams have 6 wide receivers. 1 team has... No, I'm sorry. 2 teams have 5 wide receivers. That's Danny Mack and Mike Dahl. 2 teams have 7 wide receivers. That's you, Johnny, and Jay. And I have 8 wide receivers. 8. I have 4 running backs and 8 wide receivers. So if you guys need a wide receiver, you know who to give a call to.
Seriously.
And, yeah. So before we get into the actual breakdown. Oh, there he is. He's back.
My fault.
You good?
One died.
Yeah, I was plugged in, but my switch wasn't fucking on. You know, like the light switch to that fucking outlet.
Typical awesome. Anthony fashion.
I'm sorry. I'm fucking sorry.
As you can see, all right, the quarterback power rankings are as such. All right, Bobby J has the strongest quarterback group. Now, this is one that you have to keep in mind. It's pretty much just one guy, right? So Bobby J has Patrick Mahomes, and with a raw score of 1.67, the lower the better, Bobby J received the first position. Then Will, Mike, me, Anthony, Danny, Matt, Johnny, Jay, Eddie, Nark, Luis. But guys, John, who did you have as your number 1 ranked quarterback group?
That's definitely gonna be Bobby J.
Bobby J.
Oh, running back?
No, quarterback. Quarterback. You were right.
Oh, quarterback. Yeah. So it's Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, very good. Anthony.
Same.
Yeah, me too. I'm sorry. That's not true. Bobby J for me was 3rd. I had 2 people ahead of him. Yes, I had 2 people ahead of him. Were Mike Dahl with Jalen Hurts and Will with Josh Allen. I like the little extra rushing upside that they give. Okay. Anthony, who was your number 2 quarterback group?
My number 2 was Lou. Oh, not Lou. That's what she said. Excuse me. Who's that? Will.
Oh, so it was Will and John.
Yeah, Will.
Yeah, same.
Same. And then who was your number 3, fellas?
Blumpkin.
You had Mike and
And
John.
I have Lamar Jackson.
Ooh, that would be my guy, Lamar Jackson.
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson.
Ooh, I had Lamar Jackson at 4, so he was my next guy as well. Anthony, where'd you have Lamar?
4.
You had him at 4 too. Okay, so I guess John, I would imagine maybe you have Jalen Hurts at 4.
No, I have Justin Herbert at 4.
Justin Herbert at 4.
Thanks,
That's
John.
Anthony's guy.
Thanks, pal.
Nice. That's crazy. Anthony, where did you have Justin Herbert?
5.
5. Interesting. I actually had him at 7.
Well, fuck you then.
Hey, listen, man. Just a couple of guys I have ahead of him. A couple guys.
Hey, go with what you feel, buddy.
Yes. Let me look to see who I have ahead of him.
You know I'm all about the jellies.
Yes. Okay, I remember now. John, who's this missing piece here?
Jalen Hurts is number 5.
Jalen Hurts is number 5. That's wild. That's a low ranking for Jalen Hurts. You and I are gonna have to talk later. Figure out what that's all about. Anthony, who's your number 6 guy?
Golden Showers.
The Golden Showers with Joe Burrow. Yep, I get it. John, who do you have at
Joe
number 6?
Burrow is number 6.
Yeah, I get it. For me, he was number 5. That's the guy.
Fine.
And then also, I like this guy as well. I like this guy ahead of your guy. I would love to remember. Oh, it's Trevor Lawrence. Who do you have at number 7, Anthony?
Drunken Bums has Lawrence, I believe, so that's who I have.
Yep, got it. You have Lawrence? Okay.
I have Lawrence at 8.
And you have Lawrence at 8, John. Disrespectful. Awful. So who do you have at 7?
I have Justin Fields.
Justin Fields. Oh, so yourself is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Anthony, where'd you have him?
I have him at 8.
That's funny. I had him at 8 also, but he had himself at 7. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Anthony, who did you have at 9?
Stillwater, my boy, Daniel Jones.
You know what? I think I had him at 9 as well. What about you, John?
I have Tua at 9.
Tua. Interesting. Swerve. A little bit of a swerve there. Anthony, who'd you have at 10?
I have Tua at 10.
You do have Tua at 10. Interesting. That's how he ended up there because I have him
At 11.
11. That's right.
I was caught there between him and Rodgers.
Yeah, I put Rodgers at 10.
I put Rodgers right after at 11.
Rodgers is 10 for me.
Rodgers is 10 for you. John, did we skip somebody for you?
I just have all the run-up side.
Jay has Daniel Jones. I have him at 11.
You do have him at 11. Wow, that's low for Daniel Jones, I guess, comparatively to us. And then who does Luis have at his quarterback? Does anybody know?
Deshaun Watson.
And
Yeah, Watson.
Last place for all of us. Am I right?
Yes.
That's tough. That's tough, guys. So as you can see, this is like conglomerate score, and then these are our individual rankings. I'll post this in the league chat. Everybody can take a look at how we came to this decision. So did anything like jump out at you when you actually did your rankings where you're like, I didn't realize this team had this quarterback, or that this quarterback would rank this high? Anybody have any interesting sort of like, wow, how about that?
I'm just really big with Lamar Jackson this year. I mean, a healthy Lamar Jackson. I think I'm being very modest with my 3.
Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think Lamar Jackson can easily slide up into my 1. That's my guy. That's my kind of dark horse guy where Lamar Jackson could go back to like MVP style this year.
Anthony?
You having Mahomes at 3.
Me having him at 3. I just like the rushing upside of Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts.
No, right, but I mean that's kind of like I feel like for the most part. It was, it's pretty accurately close. But that was a little off. But not nothing wrong with that. But that kind of stood out a little.
I had Herbert at 7 also, which was kind of far off.
Herbert's a little far off
because I had Trevor Lawrence higher than you guys did.
Yeah,
it's personal pref, bro. Personal pref. Don't yuck my yum.
Yo, hey, I'm all about the jellies.
Did we all vote for Taylor having the best running back group?
yes, I did.
Yeah.
Me too. Who were his running backs? Does anybody know off the top of their head? I got it. It's
Chubb,
Chubb Jacobs. He's got Javonte Williams coming off the injury, who I hope they start him slow, but it sounds like they're just going to throw him out there.
Kill him.
I was surprised by this, that I ended up at number 2. I had myself at number 3. Anthony, where did you have sweep the leg?
I had sweep the leg at number 3.
Same.
3?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I know why. It was ranked number 3, but it's just because of the raw score was 3, but the rank was 2. Interesting. Okay, who did you have? Where did you have Bobby J?
Bobby J's 2.
And Bobby J at 2? Oops, sorry.
Bobby J's 8.
See, this is what screwed things up, I think. Bobby J is 8, and you had him at 2, and I think I had him at 2 as well. That was crazy. John, explain yourself.
Yeah, I'm not a big past Bijan Robinson. I'm just not a believer in Jahmyr Gibbs.
Really?
I'm just not. Brian Robinson hasn't proven anything in the league yet, and Roschon Johnson to me is just a nobody. I'm just a lot lower. I just feel like after Bijan, that's a big question mark on running backs. So I have him a lot lower.
Yeah, rookie
wow.
running back statistically drafted in the first round have great years. They're both all down backs. They're both going to get touches and catches. I mean, high risk, high reward, but I think he's just fine.
Interesting.
That's a tough duel. Like, you're going up against Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs. Those running backs, you're not too happy.
Yeah, no, I think John will look back at that analysis, in a couple weeks, and then again at the end of the season, and see how we're looking.
Excuse me, sorry.
Jonny, you came in 4th place. I'm looking at the wrong list. You came in at 4th place, even though I ranked you 6th. Anthony, where'd you have him?
4th,
huh? And John, where'd you put yourself?
I got me at 2nd.
You have yourself in 2nd place. Wow. Okay, so maybe you were a little biased when you were doing your rankings here, because you had yourself ranked highly here, right? One entire space. I'm just kidding. But this 2nd place, okay. Wow. We're gonna have to talk about that. Jonny, your running backs are Derrick Henry, either Aaron Jones or AJ Dillon, Cam Akers, Samaje Perine. And you think that's the 2nd best running back group in the league?
I do.
Wow. What about the 2 that are ranked ahead of you? How do you feel about Bobby J? Bobby J has, let me read it to you. Bijan, Gibbs, you saw that already. With Warren and Roschon. What was your comment on Jalen Warren? Nothing, just a backup? I didn't hear anything about that. Also, my running backs, Pollard, Pierce, Gibson, Bigsby. No? Not for you.
Yeah, in my opinion, Derrick Henry is he's the focal point of that offense. The Packers are going to be running the ball a lot. Aaron Jones could be a big deal if he ever goes down. AJ Dillon would be that guy, and then Cam Akers is, the starter over there. And then if something happens to Javonte Williams, he's been really injury prone. I have Samaje Perine. So I like my running backs. I just think they're absolutely legit. And I can use them as a flex. So I don't know. I just think that in terms of top to bottom, it's a very solid running back list. There's not one guy that I'm like, ooh, don't like that guy,
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying loud and clear. Narkowitz ended up in the 5th spot. I know that I ranked him 4th. What about you, Anthony?
5th.
5th. What about you, John?
4.
4. I thought that his first 2 packed a real nice punch,
Yes.
but then after that,
Then it kind of dwindled down.
yes. That's his depth isn't there. He's got 6 running backs, which is, above average, I guess you could say. No, it's at average.
That's why I
It's
put
at
John ahead of him. Like
No, it's
I
above
personally like the Barkley Mixon over the Henry Jones, but John's
too.
got more.
Me too.
John's got more depth, and that's why I put John ahead.
Yeah,
He's got Kareem Hunt on there, like hoping he gets signed somewhere. Jerick McKinnon is a big question mark as far as like a hit or miss, boom or bust guy.
I had Eddie at 5, and it was more or less just off the strength of CMC. What about
I
you
have him
guys?
at 6.
6. What's your breakdown on him? Connor, Kamara coming back helps, but other than that, it's just CMC.
I like him at 6 because he has CMC. You can't not have to start consider him after some point. Like he doesn't have a great duo, but James Conner has like workload. But I'm just thinking Arizona is selling everything, so I stayed away from Arizona everywhere. But if Kamara comes back, if he could hold up after 3 weeks, and Kamara comes back, and he's and they're doing, he could have a nice 1-2 right that. But for right now, with the uncertainty of the role and with all that going on, he's at 6.
Dennis Allen stinks.
John, what did you rank him?
Eddie's number 6.
Number 6.
And straight across.
And Dahl ended up at number 7 with Eckler, Madison, Dalvin, and then his boy Tyler Algier, Dante Foreman.
I have him at 7. It's just the next step thing. It's like you have to get Eckler. All right, he's got Eckler. You gotta.
Yeah, it started to become guys who just had like one flagpole dude, and then a bunch of other guys. John, where'd you have Dahl?
5.
5. Wow, I had him at 9. I dragged him down here.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean Anthony was slightly below you. I was way below you, right? Dahl, number 9. Yep. Yeah, because I'm not a bit. I think we talked about it. I'm not as big into Eckler this year because everybody's just presuming that the brand new offensive coordinator that just came from a different team to fix Justin Herbert is just suddenly going to do the exact same thing with Austin Eckler that they always have done with Austin Eckler with the other offensive coordinator. But he's a totally different dude. They might just use him differently, and he might not get like 150 targets. Anybody ever think of that?
Yeah, he didn't even break 1,000 rushing yards last year.
Right. So what do we? I think the presumption of his role just being the same exact humongous role is a false presumption. Luis ended up at number 8. I had him ranked at number 7. Anthony, where'd you have Luis?
10.
10. Is that just because you're mad at him?
No.
That's not very convincing. John, where'd you have him?
I have Lou at number 7.
7. Okay. So, Anthony, you dragged him down a little bit. Luis's running backs, Najee, J.K., and Miles Sanders with Patterson.
I think J.K. Dobbins is solid, but huge question mark with certain areas. And then I think Warren's really going to tap into Harris, and I'm not very big on Harris this year.
Sanders,
so I didn't. No, Najee.
No. Oh, okay. So what about Sanders?
Sanders, I think he's going to be okay. I just think he looked a lot better in Philly because of how good Philly was.
I think he's got 3 really solid running backs. Like those 3 guys are just solid dudes. They're not going to maybe JK might win you a week here or there, but the other guy, I think there's 3 dudes you could just put in your lineup every week and they're going to get you points. Anthony, you came in next at number 9. I had you ranked at number 8. Where'd you rank yourself?
8.
And John?
9.
Number 9. That's fair. Danny came in next. I had him at 10, and he's slotted in at 10. What about you, Anthony?
He's at 9.
And John, he must be your 10. Fair enough. Now, these guys, this bottom 3 have real running back problems, in my opinion. Will, for me was number 12. He had the worst running back group, in my opinion, Anthony.
He's at 11.
And John,
Same.
11. Okay. And that means Jay came in last place. For me, I had him at 11, but you guys have him both at 12, right? Whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he went the no RB draft. He pulled it off good.
Well, pulling it off good means that you have running backs that you can play and start and stuff, and he's kind of up against it on that.
No, yeah. I mean, he does have the, Brees Hall. But no, I think it's just kind of rough at that point between the back two.
It has yet to be seen whether it worked out for him with the 0 RB. We have to see how the running backs that he has perform first before we can say, yeah, it's great. However, that wide receiver room of his was definitely pretty great. I had him at number 1. I think everybody did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, those first 3 receivers that he has are pretty insane. It helps when your keeper is Justin Jefferson. And this is one of the things that surprised me when I did my rankings and I looked at everybody's position groups like one by one. I was pretty surprised at how high I had Anthony's wide receiver room. Nice job drafting wide receivers, pal.
First of all, it's like a backhanded compliment. I was like,
Why is it
are you saying something? Well, because it's like you were surprised how good I did.
No, I wasn't paying attention to your team.
No, it's fair.
And then
hey, we were
this team,
co-managing the party last night.
This roster of wide receivers is actually really good. It's one of the best in the league. In fact, I think it's the second best in the league. John, where did you have Anthony's receiver room?
Anthony, oh man. Well, Anthony, I got you at number 2, buddy.
There you go. See, were you as impressed as I was?
I was impressed by Anthony's wide receivers.
Nice. Anthony, where'd you have yourself?
I had myself at 3.
Oh, nice. Okay. So still up there. Nice job drafting wide receivers, man. Good job. Your running backs, as we just mentioned, could definitely use some help. You're at number 9. But the receivers are good. You almost had a 0 RB type draft, but just by accident. So Narkowitz ended up as the 3rd ranked wide receiver room. I had him as my 3rd ranked wide receiver room. How about you guys?
I had him at 2.
Okay. All right. Being modest. And John?
I just had it just like Mark, that. Amon-Ra Garrett Wilson is like, it's pretty fucking tough,
Yeah. What did you say, John?
I have Narc at number 4.
4. Okay. All right. So you think he's just too deep and that's it? You don't like Ayuk?
I'm just not big with I think like Ayuk, Hollywood Brown. There's a lot of mouths to feed in that offense in San Fran, and then Hollywood Brown, that's a big question mark down in Arizona.
Fair enough. I ended up at 4. I was surprised to see myself end up at 4. For a little bit of the reason Anthony assumed I was talking. Anthony, I was just impressed by his wide receiver room. Mine, I didn't think you guys would vote me this high. I had myself voted at 5, and I was kind of like, is this a good vote or not a good vote? Anthony, where'd you have me?
I had you at 4.
At 4. Thank you. And John?
I had you at 6.
At 6. Okay. Yeah. See, I felt like I would try to probably slide in somewhere in the low yellow to high orange area, maybe, because having, the guys that I have.
I'm high on some of your, like AJ Brown. I'm high on Deontay Johnson. I mean Kenny Pickett is a huge turnaround, and Deontay Johnson's a PPR nightmare, and Mike Evans is shooting to be a legend and another 1,000-yard season. So I think that's a trio of good running wide receivers.
I just hope Bateman breaks out. That would be so fucking cool. I would love.
Yeah, he went from starting as first to like last now. It's crazy. So it's talent too.
He'll be on the field. He'll be on the field in 2 wide receiver sets as long as he can stay healthy. Danny Mack slots right in behind me at number 5. I had Danny Mack at number 6. Anthony?
I had Danny Mack at 6.
And Johnny?
I have Danny Mack at number 3.
Number 3. Wow. Danny Mack's wide receivers are CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Christian Kirk, Cortland Sutton, Brandon Cooks,
Because of Amari Cooper.
Marvin Mims and Jaden Reed. What is this, John? What's this 3?
Yeah, I just think that his first 4, I would say 5 wide receivers are all very relevant in their offense. CeeDee Lamb, the number 1 in Dallas. Amari, number 1 in his offense. Christian Kirk is arguably the number 2, number 3 target. Braden Cook's number 2 target. And then you have Cortland Sutton, which is all of a sudden the number 1 over at Denver. So I just like the way the team is currently constructed and how these offenses are supposed to be, pretty high powering throwing the football. So I just like the upside on all 5 of the wide receivers that I went over.
Interesting. What about Luis? Where'd you rank him?
Ooh, Luis is number 7.
Nice.
I mean, no, number 9. Luis is number 9 for me.
Number 9 for you.
Number
Wow.
9.
Interesting. Anthony, where'd you have Luis?
5.
5. And I had Luis at 4. Okay, so me and Anthony were sort of similar, and John was just way off the board. Hill, Ridley, Mike Williams, Hyatt, Mechie, DPJ. Now, the first 3 of those receivers I think are very strong. John,
Yes.
why 9?
So I'm a little bit lower on Mike Williams than you guys are. I just think that Tariq Hill, Calvin Ridley, solid, and then Mike Williams. Let's say if he's healthy. And
He's a wide receiver
thing
3 on your team. He's a wide receiver 3 on the team.
Just not very high on him in terms of number 3. And then afterwards, it's just a big dive. And in my opinion, you just really have.
Well, I'll give you that.
2.
I'll give you that. The other 3 receivers are pretty poopy doopy. I will give you that. But the first 3 I think that's a solid 3 receivers.
Especially if with the high upside of Ridley, it's I like that.
I mean, he's got 3 receivers. He's got 3 running backs. I mean, his bench is hilarious. But those receivers, I think, a 9. That's a brutal score. I got Will at number 7, and he's ranked at number 7. Anthony, where'd you put Will?
7.
How about you, John?
Same.
All right, there you go. 777. That's jackpot, right? Johnny,
Yeah.
you ranked in here at number 8. I had you. You're not going to like this. I had you at number 11. Anthony,
Wow.
where'd you have him?
I had him at 8.
8. Okay, and where'd you
I
have
have
yourself?
myself at 5.
5. Well, there you go. I dragged you down, bro. Look at this. He had you at 8, which is 3 slots lower than you had yourself. So, okay, reality check, right? And then I had you at 11. Let's take a look at your roster here. Devontae Adams, DJ Moore. I am down on Adams, as you know, so I don't think we really need to get much more into that. And it has nothing to do with Adams. It has everything to do with Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo stinks. He stinks, and he stinks. And he's going to drag Devontae Adams and that entire offense down with him. It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough sledding with Devontae. It's going to be frustrating to own him because you're going to be like, he's so goddamn good. Why is he not, doing better than this? It's because Jimmy Garoppolo. That's the answer. DJ Moore, I love him, but I don't love the way Fields is looking throwing the ball. Now listen to this. My man's picks up Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce from the Indianapolis Colts, who are projected to throw among the least of anybody in the league. And the guy who's throwing the ball is among the most inaccurate of anybody in the league. Investing that heavily in that passing offense really, really drags your wide receiver room down. Tony is made of porcelain. Rondale Moore, I didn't even know he was still in the league, as is Robert Woods. I didn't even know he was still alive. So, yeah, for me, that wide receiver room after Adams and Moore goes completely off the rails. John, where'd you have Eddie?
Yeah, I'm going to go at number 8 with Eddie.
Number 8. I had him at number 9. What about you, Anthony?
9.
Okay. All right. And how about Mike Dahl?
10.
I had him at 9. John?
10.
All right. Bobby J. Now look at these guys. These guys' receiver rooms are all hurting pretty badly. I mean, we already know that Dahl picked a guy by accident because he wasn't sure what but Listy was looking at. He got Zay Flowers. He stole Zay Flowers from me by accident. By accident. I'm not mad. Bobby J. Bobby J had a rough day at wide receiver. What was your score on Bobby J?
I have him at 11.
I had him at 10, John.
I have him at 12.
Oof. Yeah, you see, I don't necessarily blame you. His receivers are London, Watson, Dotson, Moore,
Watson. I think we
Burks.
like it to say.
And he just traded for Burks.
and Burks. Right. So, I mean, those guys have a lot of upside, but he's got to have a lot of things go right.
London has a lot of upside.
Yeah, but not a lot of targets, unfortunately, and you need those as a wide receiver. Watson is a big play threat at any given time, but it's just another one of those things where it's like you got to have. He's got his. I love those receivers. I love them. I think they're awesome football players, and I want to watch them all on Sunday. But do I trust them as my 3 receivers in a fantasy football league?
Agreed.
No,
Agreed.
not at all.
Agreed.
You know, and that's kind of where I'm at on that with Bobby. I love those receivers. I want to watch them on Sundays.
Yeah,
and in
absolutely.
last place, Matt. In last place, I had him at 12. Anthony, you had him at 12, and John, you had him at 11.
Yeah.
Matt's receivers, I just want to say them out loud because it's funny. Debo, Jerry Jeudy, injured as fuck. George Pickens makes like one highlight catch a game. Gabe Davis, who I think might be bouncing back this year. I like Gabe Davis. Rashee Rice, and Nico Collins. I made him one guy. I made him Rico Rice. Sounds pretty cool.
It does.
That receiver core is hilarious. And let's just hit into the tight ends. Danny Mack got Travis. Oh, damn it.
Everybody got one.
Yeah,
Yes,
Danny Mack got Travis Kelce. Jay, I think I had Jay at number 2. Yes, I did.
Yep.
How about you?
I had him at 3.
You had Jay at 3.
Wow.
He had Mark Andrews. Eddie. Eddie.
I had him at 2.
You had Eddie at 2. I had Eddie at 3.
Yeah.
John, where do you have him?
Eddie's at 6.
At 6.
What?
Down on Waller, huh? What's
John,
the
you
deal?
lied to me all off season.
What's the deal with Waller, bro? Why?
I just think that teams are gonna know that they're gonna be throwing the ball to Darren Waller, and I just think the team is just going to teams are just going to figure out that there's no receivers. All they got to do is lock down Waller, and that offense is simply just not going to have a hard time scoring points. So I think I do.
Disagree heavily. They can't stop Waller, bro.
I think it.
Yeah, my camera died.
Where'd you go?
I'm still here. Yeah, my camera died. Don't worry about it. Relax.
That's all right.
Hang
We
on.
hear you. It's like God speaking to us.
So where did you have Will ranked?
Will is number 4 for me.
Yeah. Same.
Okay, cool. Give me 1 second. I have to.
People are very high on Waller this year, and I'm like,
If
I
he
see it, but-
if he stays healthy the whole year, he even misses a game, he has the total potential to finish as a tight end too.
Okay, cool. I'm back.
You are so back.
All right, give me a second here. Sorry. All right,
Take your time.
Where do you have Will?
4.
You have him at 4? I had him at
Same.
5. You had him at 4? Okay, and who did he get? Who's his tight end? I don't remember.
Hawkinson.
Yeah.
Hawkinson, right. Yeah, I'm a little lower on Hawkinson than you guys are. Mike Dahl. Mike Dahl has a handsome tight end.
Has Goddard. Yeah, Goddard. I have him at 5.
I
Same.
have him at 4. You guys both have him at 5. Okay, yeah, I like Goddard. I think Goddard is a little bit better than your boy Hawkinson. But it's just the problem with Goddard is he never stays healthy. Narkowitz. I had Narkowitz at number 6. What about you guys?
Narc at number 6. Yes.
Number 3.
Number 3. Who's his tight end, John? Why do you love him so
Kittle.
much?
George Kittle. I'm
George
very
Kittle.
high on George Kittle this year.
I think you're just
Very
high.
high on George
Down
Kittle
on
this year.
Ayuk, but a high on Kittle.
Yeah.
Same team.
Very high.
Same quarterback, same scheme, same everything, but you're high on Kittle. All right. Fair enough. I had Luis at number 8
7.
in my tight ends. You had him at 7?
I have him at 7.
8.
Okay. You had him at 8 also? Huh. Interesting. I had Matt Taylor at number 9.
I originally had him there, and because of statistics, but I have to go with my jellies, right?
Sure. What do you
I
mean
have him.
you originally had him there?
Well, when I was writing it, I was like, I was going to put.
You're
I
going
was
to
putting
change the
myself.
number right now?
No. I said what I sent is what I sent. I'm just saying when I was making this list,
Okay.
I had him closer to the last 2.
Got it.
I'm sorry. I had himself closer to where you guys are, but I moved him back. So as I just got myself confused, what number am I asking? Who am I asking for?
Taylor,
Bums. I put him at 12.
you put him at 12.
Yes.
Okay. And John, where did you have him?
7.
The Muth.
Okay. You had him at 7, John?
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. And then here I am thinking people like David Njoku. I had him at 7, but nobody else liked him. Where'd you
I have him at 8.
John?
I have him at 11.
11. What the hell, bro? Down on Deshaun
Yo.
Watson that much, huh?
I'm not on the Deshaun Watson train. I'm off of it.
Let me ask you this question: Did he touch you? Here, let me ask you here. Look, show me on the doll where he touched you, John. Can you show me on the doll where he touched you? Is it back there? Is it in there, the front part? Okay. Bobby J. What did you guys have, Bobby J? I had Bobby J at 11.
I had him at 9.
9. Okay, that brings it up a
10.
little. 10. There you go. Right in the middle. Jonny, sorry to say, I ranked your guy at 10. Your guy, Komet, your boy. And especially I factored into it a little bit of the fact that like what it does to your roster composition. Unbelievable. This is where we talk about the fact that not only did you invest in the Colts passing offense, but you invested in not one but 2 Bears pass catchers. And you're relying heavily on them to contribute to your offense, an offense that doesn't pass the ball that much. Go ahead.
Sorry, I have him at 11.
11. Yikes, even worse. John, where'd you rank yourself?
9.
9. Get out of my face. Anthony, I got bad news for you. You were ranked with the worst tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you rank
That's
yourself?
like I said, where I originally had myself there because of it, but I have in my jellies that he's my 10. I'm my 10. I'm me my 10.
You're a 10 in my book, buddy. John?
I'm going to go with 12.
Oh, gross. Who's your guy again? I don't even remember. Oh,
Laporta.
Sam Laporta.
That's tough. You're going against history here. You're going against like history.
I am a gambler, and this is what we do.
Yeah. Well, there you go, guys. Thank you for helping me to make these power rankings. This is our preseason power ranking. The only roster move that had been made since the draft was that one trade, and it was accounted for in these rankings here. I'm going to post everything in the chat. Thank you for watching. Fellas, the next thing we're going to see is you're not going to be on the next episode. I'm going to be reporting from the newsroom, the old news desk, and we're going to have the draft grade special. How do you like that?
Fucking love that.
Fantastic.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Well, I'll see you then when it's always Sunday.